Hi folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. Another chilly night last night, but it was supposed to get pretty warm this week. Temperatures are looking really nice for the week. Even next Sunday, predicting 60 degrees. That's going to be pretty warm for us compared to what we've had the last few weeks, which has just been cold. And it's just like I told people yesterday at our big meeting. I said, if you're new to the Ozarks, this cold that we've been having, this is normal. This is normal January weather. We always have nice cold weather for January. So don't listen to, a lot of the internet talk that this is such rare and unusual weather. I mean, there's definitely been areas further south that have experienced rare and unusual weather, but here in our area, this is actually pretty normal. So just if you're new to the area, remember that. Internet is all abuzz about AI and cryptocurrencies. The stock market's lost about $1 trillion in the last day or so. Cryptocurrencies have lost a lot of value, and everyone's talking about this new China AI, that it's the big new thing. And we'll see how this pans out. It's like I said yesterday, we are in the midst of a new technological war. It's like the space race back in the 60s, similar to that, but I would say even bigger. We're going to see just billions and trillions of dollars being dumped into, not just here in the United States, but everywhere. The development of better, faster, more intelligent AGI, artificial general intelligence. And they're going to be putting this together with other technologies. And remember, what you see in these little apps that you download, and some of you wouldn't do that, but some of you do, and playing around with the different types of AI out there where you can ask it questions or have it draw a picture for you or something like that. That's just a scratch in the surface of what they're actually working with, the levels of artificial intelligence that they're working with. And we are going to see a boom of this, and the age of real serious technologies where it's not just a something that you might use in your daily life, but something that really has a controlling presence in your daily life is what's happening, and it's going to just keep growing. It's also a lot of talk in the news about all of the illegals that are being deported from the United States, and there was some scuffle over the weekend between the Trump administration and Colombia and Brazil. They weren't going to accept all of these illegals that are being deported back. It appears that they are now going to accept them. I do want to put things into perspective, because they're bragging about deporting now about 1,000 people a day, which is great, but still needs to increase those numbers. And I suspect it's just because they're getting started. I would hope that in the near future, in the next coming weeks, that we would see a lot more being deported every day. I mean, during Biden's administration, they were averaging about 1,500 a day. So 1,000 a day looks great if you don't know anything to compare it to, but when you have comparisons, it's not that amazing. It's not that spectacular. So hopefully we'll see some more, because there's millions and millions here, and at 1,000 a day, it's going to take decades to move them all out of here. So there's that. With the stuff going on with the H5N1, all the killing of the chickens, and then now deportations of illegals, the very real possibility, well, it's not possible because it's already happened in some areas, but the possibility that large areas of our food supply is going to experience a shortage of workers and a shortage of resources, causing prices to go up, is very real. We're already seeing that in eggs. There are places right now in this country where eggs are $10, $12, $15 a dozen. It's absolutely absurd. It's just absurd to be paying that much money for a dozen of eggs when I can remember easily paying $1 or less a dozen. And and even hardly more than a couple of dollars a dozen for some good quality farm raised, pasture raised, free range eggs. So the prices of those, I think, are just the tip of the iceberg of what we could potentially see. This is another area for us prepared homesteaders to shine. You need to be thinking and planning for when things start to warm up, that your food production is going to dramatically increase. You need to, chickens are great, okay? I know that that's like the gateway drug to homesteading is chickens, and there's all kinds of jokes and memes and everything else out there, but there is truth to it, because they're pretty easy to get going. There's not a lot of work. You don't need tons of space. I mean, you can just grow them in a backyard, raise them in a backyard, but you really need to work on having much larger productions of that. And the prices of chickens, I suspect, are going to go up. The actual prices of chicks, the prices of food is probably going to go up. Everything is on the rise, and so you need to be working on that. A tip that might work for some of you, if you live in areas that have like Amish or Mennonite type farms that they produce chickens. A lot of times on those big chicken farms, they only keep their laying hens for about 2 years. After 2 years, they sell them off, and they start all over with a new batch. And so if you live in areas that have that, a lot of times you can go to those Amish farms, Mennonite farms, and you can try to purchase their laying hens. And these things are only 2 years old. They'll still be laying for at least another 2 to 4 years. And you're not paying the price to raise them. You get a laying hen as a chick. You're going to pay a few dollars for the hen and for the chick, and then you've got to feed it for the next 8 months before it starts laying. And this is a way that you can get in and buy them pretty cheaply. And sometimes you can buy a laying hen from a farm like this for a couple of dollars a hen. Now, they're not the best. They're not some heritage breed or anything like that. They're going to be laying eggs that are pretty much like what you would get at the grocery store. But it's a way to kind of jumpstart. If you bought a bunch of those so that you have eggs immediately, and then go ahead and get you some chicks of a better quality that you really like, and raise them up. And then when you do that and they're laying eggs good, then you can take those big production layers and you can actually butcher them and have some meat in your freezer. So it's a quick and fairly cheap way to get eggs and then have meat later on. And I know they're not the best, but because they're big production layers, but it's eggs, right? It is protein. And if you raise them under better conditions, feeding them better and stuff, you're going to have a more nutritious, higher quality egg than they would in a big production facility. So there's a little side tip for you if that works. Gardening, I would recommend that everyone, and I do this every year, but I would recommend you push your garden production to the limits. If you are right now growing, let's say, 200 square foot of a garden, you have a small garden, you have maybe a couple hundred square foot, I would, can you do 500? Can you do 1,000 square foot? Keep growing more and more food, and diversify and produce as much as you can. Now, if you have the space and the ability to go into to bigger animal production, maybe goats, sheep, even cattle, that's fine. Certainly do that. But I'm telling you, we need to be working on our food production, because if the Trump administration, and I'm not complaining about this, okay? We just have to understand that sometimes when good things happen, they have negative adverse effects, okay? And if we truly are going to be deporting millions, maybe tens of millions of illegals, while they all don't work in farming and food service industries, a lot of them do. A lot of the farms are working, running illegals on them to pick the vegetables and to take care of animals. And so there probably will be a time period where they're not replaced yet by legal workers, and you could definitely see prices of stuff go up. And then with all these tariffs that are being put on, Trump is threatening tariffs everywhere. In some places they're being implemented. That's going to cause the cost of things to go up. Your bottom dollar, what you pay for things, is going to go up. And so even though you may not be able to produce some of the things that's going to have high tariffs, if you can produce other things, so lessen your cost in other areas, it may end up helping you. And in the end, producing your own food as much as possible, that's the best way to go. Produce as much of your own food, because then you're eating healthy for one thing, because it's hard to find good healthy food, and if you do, it's really expensive. But you're responsible for the thing that you need to stay alive. That very thing that you use to keep your body going, you're more responsible for it. You're producing it. You know what quality it is. So I would strongly encourage you folks, as winter starts to wrap up soon, and you're getting closer and closer to spring, to growing, planting season, getting animals and stuff lined up, I would really push it. Dairy cow, if you can afford and you can raise a 1 or 2 dairy cattle, little jerseys or something like that. Excellent source of food. There's hardly anything better for you to consume for your body than raw milk. It's pretty much medicinal, and you can eat the offspring, so you've got meat. There's a lot of things that you can do to produce your own food, and so this is the year to do it. Okay, we're going to see high prices of more than just eggs, and as always, the quality of our food continues to go down. The quality, the nutrition levels, everything. As we see more and more technology incorporated into our food systems, the chances of seeing less and less quality in our food is much higher. So this is the year to do it. Get out there and produce, and start making plans now, purchasing the seeds that you need for your gardens now. If you're planning on building a chicken coop, start acquiring the materials that you need to build the coop, or the fencing, or whatever it is, little by little, so there's not just this big cost all at once. Whatever it is that you're planning on doing, I would recommend you start now doing these things, so that when the time comes that you're ready to purchase your chicks, or you're ready to plant the seed, or whatever it is, you're ready to go. Because over the next months and even years, we're going to probably see higher and higher food costs and less quality in our food systems. And so you've got to take control of that part of your life as much as possible. And then along the way, you're also seeking out others like you that you can barter and trade with, because you may not be able to grow everything, but maybe you can trade with other people that grow the things that you also need. So be doing that, because the technology is taking over, and the farm workers, a lot of them, are being moved out of the country. So that's just a very important thing that we need to be doing, to be getting our houses in order. We need to be working and striving on preparing every day, mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next video.